Hey, today has been a fairly productive day. We've started working on getting the lines for the house transferred down to the ground so that we can start digging for the foundation. And I just kind of wanted to show you what we got done today. Not quite finished because there's a few measurements and I want to go back and double check before we mark them on the ground. But hopefully this coming weekend we'll be able to rent the mini excavator and start digging the footers out. So let me show you what I've got. Okay, you can see we've got the 2x4 batter boards up in all three corners, or all four corners, excuse me. Here you see the batter boards that I've got put up. And we've got the same thing put on all four corners of the house. And those are roughly level. They're just leveled with a short little cheap string level. But when we do the actual elevation, I'll have a laser transit, so they're just kind of a rough estimate. I marked out the house on that, the outside measurements, and pulled string on it and squared it up from corner to corner. I don't know if these strings are going to show up or not, but you can see that is one line of the house, and then there's another one that goes to that corner and so on. And once we had those, I came back and dropped a plumb bob down to the ground and put pins down at the corner. You can see where the string intersects there. And we pull the string on the ground all the way up, and we pull that tight. And that's what I'll use as a guide for the excavator as we're digging. And then you can see the spray paint marks on the ground to let me know what side of that line to dig to and how wide the trench should be. On this, we're digging a 16-inch footer here. That'll be for the porch. This footer will be for the back side of the house, and that's going to be a 22-inch footer. We'll have a girder in here. You can see that marked in between the two lines on the other end. I don't have it marked on this end because I want to double check that measurement. And then close to the center of the house under the main load bearing wall, I've got another 22-inch footer that'll go in. And again, between that and the front one, we'll have another footer in for a girder here, but I want to check that measurement. This footer will be for the front wall of the house, and it'll also be 22 inches wide. And we have the front line of the house for the porch, and that's going to be another 16-inch wide. As we go out to this other corner, the house is going to have a full wraparound porch on it. You can see all of the footers for the house stop here, approximately 7 feet back from the footer for the porch, which will wind up making an 8-foot porch all the way around the house by the time it's all done. There's another 16-inch footer here, and then turning the corner there and going back. So that's going to be duplicated all the way around the house. Here is the spot footer in between the two main footers, and there will be a girder that runs this way on the spot footings. And then here's the other spot footing, and there will be a girder that will run all the way down that way. Now, the floor joist I'm using can actually span from this footer all the way to this footer without any support, but just to help take a little bit of bounce out of the floor, I'm going to split the difference and go ahead and put a girder beam under the floor joist to help stiffen everything up. So that's what we have today. Like I said, I'll have to check those measurements and mark the spot footings on the other end and the end wall of the house down there, and then we're ready to start digging. But I've run out of paint to mark with, I've run out of nails to pull string with, and I got to double check some measurements. So until I have a chance to run home and resupply and check numbers, that's all I can do for today. So hopefully, weather permitting, we'll be able to get back out here sometime during the week and finish all this up so that Friday afternoon we can come out with the mini excavator and start digging. So stay tuned.